Welcome, Ms. Judith here. I am going to do a very short demonstration on how to prepare watercolor paper for painting in watercolors. Now, some people may try working on their watercolor paper without taping it onto a board. My preference is definitely to have it on a board for various reasons I will go into at another time. But here I have a piece of masonite board. This is 11 inches by 14 inches. I have here the watercolor paper that I use to teach my students how to paint in watercolors. This watercolor paper is student grade. However, it is excellent quality paper for the price, which makes it an excellent way to introduce students to watercolors without breaking the bank. So it's 140 pound. This particular pad is 9 inches by 12 inches. This is a really nice little piece of watercolor paper. There are 30 pieces in a pad, and you can get them at some places for $8, and I've seen them at other places for in excess of 20. So look around, you might find a good deal somewhere. There's more than one place to get this stuff. This is the one I like. But you can certainly try other ones. I prefer to have the thicker 140 pound, that's a thicker paper. I find the 90 pound paper is just too thin. This will buckle, but won't buckle as much as the 90. Okay, so that being said, watercolor paper is actually special paper. I'm going to open the pad and show you. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but the deal is the top, when you open the pad, the paper that's facing up is the paper, the side of the paper that you put your paint on, okay? Because the two sides of the paper are different, and you need to understand that about watercolor paper. So you want to make sure that you get the right side up. Okay, when you open the pad, the side that you paint on is facing up. Okay, and if you have taken the paper out of the pad, sometimes to take the paper out, you need to actually fold it this way and then bring it back and then pull it at an angle. It should come out pretty easily. Sometimes they get stuck up here at the end and might give you a problem, but just fold it right back and pull it right forward. And when you pull it out at an angle. You should get it out without a problem. Sometimes the glue just gets bugged up and the top one may come out a little ripped. That happens, you know, whatever. So here I have my paper. I know this is the bumpy side. If you look at the paper, and I'm going to put my pad over here. If you look at the paper, you will see that there's the bumpy side. I doubt very much I'll be able to get you to see this over the internet, but if you have this paper in your little hand in real life, you can turn it over and see that one side is a little bit more bumpy than the other. The way that you can see that more easily is put the paper at a little bit of an angle, and the ridges in the paper will have more shadows from the light source. So that will let you see, if you put the paper at a little bit of an angle, you'll see that one side is a little more bumpy than the other. It's the bumpy side that goes up. The bumpy side has a special thing on it called sizing, and it's a water-soluble, gluish type substance that allows the watercolor paint to do fabulous things on this side of the paper. If you put the wrong side up, it will act like a blotter and it will be frustrating and nasty. Don't do that. Okay, get the right side up. Okay, I tape my paper on the boards with masking tape. My experience with masking tape is not all masking tape is the same. Some masking tape is fabulous, and some masking tape, I don't even know what they got on there. It's not glue because it doesn't stick to the board or the paper or anything. So that being said, sometimes you just have to find a brand that's working for you that's accessible. So my preference is Scotch brand. I get it at Home Depot. It's contractor grade. It's number 2020. It's 3M, and it's 1 inch. 1 inch wide. That's actually important. This, I've had great success with. This is very sticky. It really works. Because what happens is when this paper gets wet, this has to be able to withstand some water. And then as the paper absorbs the water, it will buckle a little bit. And then as it dries, it shrinks. So the tape needs to be fairly, the stickiness needs to be fairly robust. Okay, that being said, depending on who's doing the taping for the art project and how comfortable you are with working your hands, you may consider getting some scissors, or you can try ripping it. So I will show you both techniques. What I want to do before I tape the paper on is when I get the paper on the board, I don't want to tape it on at an angle. I want to have the paper taped onto the board as much as possibly square, not like that, not like that. Don't do that. That will kind of mess up my ability to think about vertical and horizontal. So I do need this to be square. And then what I'm going to do is I get out my tape. So I have my finger here on this side. I have my hand here on this side. And what I'm going to try to do is put half of the tape onto the paper and half onto the board. And I'm just going to put one side down first. There. I got that corner. That's pretty good. And I've got my, now on this side, I'm aiming the tape. See? I can try to, see, now this is pretty okay. It's nice. There's 1/2 inch on there, on the paper, 1/2 inch on the board. And here is my end of the paper. Okay, I can use scissors. I'll just show you scissors first. I can clip this with the scissors. That's pretty easy. Okay, and if this, now I'm going to show you the technique for ripping because I got a little excess here. I do a lot of ripping with my thumbnail. So I, have some thumbnails, not too many, too long because they bug me and they get in my way if my nails are long. But I use my hands, so I don't want to have long nails with manicures that bug me. But at any rate, I have a thumbnail. So yeah, but not everybody does. So I'm just saying. So I take my nail, which is a nice little art tool for me, and I put it, this tape, where the tape and the board meet, right here, I put my nail half on the board, half on the tape. And then what I do is I take the tape and I pull it towards me, and it rips easy. Okay, so most of the time when I'm taping, I'm actually ripping the tape. And you do it enough, you get pretty good at it, and it can go quickly. What I find is this taping, if you're preparing watercolor for children to use, the taping, when I have children in my class, I do the taping for them because it's a big it seems to be a big skill for the little ones to manage, and it takes them a while to kind of get a handle on it. So if I have a limited amount of time to work with the kids, I'm not going to make them do this. That's just the way I support my students in my class. However, it is a fabulous art skill, so I don't know, maybe I should have taught it to them. So at any rate, so what I'm going to do is I will just let you watch me tape the rest of this on. So I'm going to put this here. I ended on this, put it here on the corner, here, put my thumb there and pull. Okay. And I put it half on the paper, half on the tape. I landed on the correct side on this side. Oops, I got a little bit of a round, doesn't matter. And then I pull it. Okay. And here I'm putting it half on the paper, half on the tape, half on the board rather, half on the paper, and so there we go. Watercolor paper that is ready to use. Yay. Okay. So yeah, I find that the Masonite is pretty good. However, there is another option for the board. You can get corrugated plastic. It's like cardboard, but it's made with plastic instead of paper. So here I have, you can see, this is, I got it at Dollarama. This is an old, is a garage sale sign. This will work. Tape it on the bag. And this was less expensive to purchase than, and it's also lighter. I don't know if it would be as durable because, you know, if you have a kid who is really, really pressing, they could bend it and sort of bust it, which the Masonite would probably be a more robust. Okay, but this is a possibility that you, and I have taped the watercolor paper onto this very board and this piece actually, and then I let it dry and I pulled the tape off and it was fine. Okay, so this is a possibility for you to use. Okay, yeah, so taping watercolor paper on the board. I'm going to go and do another video about the watercolor setup so that, you know, my experience with teaching watercolors is I do the setup all the time the same, and I'm going to go and explain how that works now. Okay, wow, thanks for listening to how to tape watercolor paper onto a board. Okay, I gotta shut this off.